Om Sahana Vavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavatpadam Shankaram Lokashankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutrabhashya Krutau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Ishvaro Gururatmedi Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavadvyapta Dehaya Shinam Chaitanyam Sarvagam Sarvam Sarvabhuta Guhashayam Yat Sarva Vishayatitam Tasmai Sarvavide Namaha. Siddhadevahamithyasmat Yushmadharmo nishidyate Rajvamyahirdhiryuktya Tattvamasthyavishasanaihi. Tattvam ityadi shasanaihi. By shasanam, by the instruction, Tattvamasi, that thou art, Rajvamya ahidhihi. Just as ahidhi, the notion of ahi of the snake in Rajju. There is no snake, a non-existent snake is thought to be there, and therefore it is not that any real snake has to be removed from there, only the notion of snake has to be removed by the instruction of what is the truth, namely this is a rope. What you think is snake is in fact a rope, so this is the statement that will eliminate the conclusion that this entity is a snake. So what is done is nishedha. Nishedha of the false notion. In case of the rope snake, the false notion of snake. Shuddha in case of the Atma, Siddhadeva ahamiti asmat. So aham is self-revealing, self-existing. Meaning that no effort has to be made for aham, for me to reveal aham. It is self-revealing. That's called siddham. So it is there. And not only that, but it is Brahman also. So Brahman alone is shining as aham. This is given. Siddham. That this is rope is a siddham. And not that you to give any instruction about rope, it is only removal of notion of snake. So Brahman is shining or revealing itself as aham. But the notion is that what is not aham called yushmat or anatma is also taken to be atma. So aham is taken to be atma. But what is yushmat or anatma also is taken to be atma. Therefore, Aham is not recognized as Brahman. Brahman that shines as Aham, but because of this mutual identification of Atma, Anatma, Atma, Aviveka, therefore that Aham is not recognized as Brahman. It shines as Brahman, but is not recognized as Brahman. The rope shines as rope, but not recognized as rope. And so instruction is necessary. All that is necessary is to remove my Brahma. That I am a Jivatma, I am body, Dehoham. That Aham part is Brahman. Deha is a Yushmadartha, Anatma. So in my conclusion on myself, that I am a human being, or I am so and so, part is right, part is wrong. The Aham is right, and then this Dehoham is wrong, which is wrong means it is Brahma. So you are Brahman. When that statement is taken, then I analyze my conclusion on myself. I think that I am Manushya, I think I am so and so. Shastra says I am Brahman. Yuktya. So, keeping that as the very basis of my deliberation upon myself, that I am Brahman is the basis of my deliberation on myself. So that is taken, accepted. Then I question, how do I say that I am a human being, I am a Jivatma, I am so and so, I am limited? On what basis do I say that? That's why yukti is applied. Reasoning is applied to see that this is a false notion. That there is no valid reason for me to declare myself as a limited being. That it is simply taken for granted. Therefore, yuktya. So that Tattvamasi Shasanam, the instruction of Tattvamasi, you are Brahman, has to be accompanied with yukti or reasoning in order to find the consistency between what the Shruti says and what I think I am. And therefore, in what I think I am, whatever are the false elements, have to be seen as false. The point is that I will not be able to give up this Brahma notion unless I find it to be a notion. That is why yukti is required. And so this teaching is, or this process is all along letting go of what I am not. And continuing further. Tannivrittim drishtantambyam spashtayati. Tannivrittim yushmadharmo nishidyate. The nivritti of brahmagruhita paroksha sadvaitva akara vilapanena. That, as you said yesterday, paroksha, the remoteness with Brahman, and sadvayatva, the manyness of Atma. So these are the notions I have of the self. I think that I am a paroksha, but limited, one among many. That Brahman is limitless, but different from me. Tad nivrittim. So this nivritti of paroksha sadvaitva, Brahma paroksha, Atma sadvaitva nivritti. Drishtanta with two drishtanta, spashtayati is clarified. So next verse is Shastra Pramanyato Jnaya Dharma Derastita Yatha विशापोहो यथा ध्यानात् स्मृति स्यात् पाप्मनस्तथा. So Drishantabhyam, Drishtanta, there are two Drishtantas given in this verse. यथा शास्त्र प्रामाण्यतः धर्मादेः अस्तिता ज्ञेया. यथा, just as धर्मादेः अस्तिता, there is what is called dharma. Since there is no way for us to determine dharma, the only way we can determine dharma, meaning what is right in a given situation, and what is right is what is in keeping with universal order. There is no way that our mind can ever comprehend the universal order. Therefore, we have to depend upon this Shastra to tell us what dharma is. That there is something called dharma. There is something called order. Even that also is known only from Shastra, because my mind cannot come to this understanding on its own. One example. Vishapoho yathadhyanat. So yathadhyanat, it will explain how by the repetition of certain mantras, Garuda mantras, how the Visha, the snake, the poison of the snake is eliminated by repeating the Garuda mantra. Second example. So Astita is known from the Shastra. And the removal of the Visha also is by Shastra. So Papmana tatha hnuti syat. Similarly also Papmana hnuti is all negation. Papmana hnuti tatha syat. In a manner similar to that, the negation of Papa takes place. So tatha yatha, there are two examples to say how the Papa is negated. So what does it mean? Says the Tika. So either you can say that how the negation takes place, for that two examples are given. Yadva nitya aparoksha atma eva brahma. That nitya aparoksha atma alone is Brahman. Tat avagamascha anasnivritta hetuhu. Tat avagama, and avagama, the knowledge, the immediate knowledge of Atma as Brahma is anartha nivritti hetuhu. The knowledge of Atma is the very cause or the very means of dispelling of all the anartha, all the suffering in the life born of ignorance. Iti etat kramena drishtantabhyam. So, two drishtantas can be understood as accomplishing two things. First drishtanta accomplishes how Brahma is Atma, that Atma is Nitya Paroksha, that is Brahman, is what is established. First drishtanta. And how knowledge of Brahman as Atma eliminates all the anartha is what is conveyed by the second drishtanta. Shastra. So yatha and tatha. So this drishtanta is very clear. Yatha dharmadehi astita shastra pramanyatah jnaya. Just as the existence of dharma is to be known from the pramanya, from the authority of Shastra. Tatha, similarly, brahmaneva atmatvena astita jnaya. Similarly also, it is only by Shastra that we can know that Brahma is self, Brahma atmata, atmatvena astita. That Brahman is, but Brahman exists as my own self. So dharma deha astita. So dharma, adharma, the Ishvara, all of the astita is only known through Shastra. So Brahman, that Brahman is Atma. So Brahman exists as Atma. It's called Astita. So Brahman's existence of the as Atma is to be known by Shastra. Atma is there, that you know. Brahman also is there. But that Brahman exists as the Atma, that identity is to be known by Shastra, because there is no other way of arriving at that identity. Just as we do not have a known means of arriving at the nature of dharma, etc., other than Shastra, so there is no way for us to arrive at this knowledge that I am Brahman. Brahman is there, limitless. I am there. But that limitless Brahman is myself, that the Shastra reveals, then I will use yukti to find out how my conclusions are wrong. But that my conclusions about myself are false, there is no way for me to ever think of that. That what I think about myself is not right. That only when Shastra, hey, you are Brahman, then I will analyze all my conclusions myself, realize that my conclusions are all notions. So, how does Shastra say that Brahman is Atma? In what statement does the Shastra say that Brahman is Atma? Anena jivena Atma anupravishya. The Sat or Brahman thought may enter this Upadhi as Jivatma. So Brahman entered as the Jivatma. This is what Shruti says. That establishes the identity of Brahman and as Jivatma. Tattvamasi again. Tat means Brahman, Jagat Karanam, that you are. That Jagat Karanam Brahman, I never thought about it. So that Brahman has entered the Upadhi and then is manifesting as Jiva. So one that manifests as Jiva, as I, as Karta, Bhokta, is none other than Brahman. That has to be known. Then I will recognize that Kartrutva, Bhoktva, etc. are false. And that Brahman I am. So these are the things to be known from the Shastra. It is Shastra Pramanyato Jnaya. The Astita, that Brahman alone is Atma, that is to be known by the authority of Shastra. This is Darshtantika. Drishtanta is Dharmadehe Astita Shastra Pramanyato Jnaya. Tatha Brahmana Atmatvena Astita Shastra Pramanyato Jnaya. Then second Drishtanta. Second is Anartha Nivrutti. Knowing the oneness of Brahman and Atma is one, and then by that knowledge, all Anartha Nivrutti. Suppose I am Brahman, so what? Oh, suppose I come to know that I am Brahman, so what is accomplished? The Purushartha is accomplished, Anartha Nivrutti takes place. All suffering is eliminated in my life. So how does that knowledge, how can knowledge remove anartha? First, knowledge takes place on the authority of Shastra, and secondly, that knowledge removes anartha, or poison, or suffering. How can that be? That second drishtanta is yatha dhyanad vishapoha. Just by dhyanam or meditation, that the visha or the poison is removed. So the poison of suffering in my life is removed by dhyanam, by meditating, by knowing Brahman is myself. Tatha papmanah avidyadi anartharupasya vakyad atmatattva avgamatrena sadyeva nuti bhadarupa nivritti syadityartha. So nivritti is the nature of bhada. It is not nivritti in terms of the prakritik nivritti or laya. for it to come back. Like there is laya or cessation of dukkha in sleep for it to come back. Here, bhadarupa nivritti. That once it is falseness is recognized, it will never come back because it was not there. The reason why the anartha can be eliminated once and for all, because it is not there even when I think it is. How do you say, Swami? There is all birth and death and loss and all sorts of things in life. They are all anartha. They become anartha only when they are connected with Atma, understand? Anything in life can become a cause of sorrow only when I connect it with I. So that is what I am doing. Because of my present conclusion of who I am. When I recognize that I am Brahman, then nothing can be connected with Brahman because I transcend everything. So that by my true knowledge of myself, I will stop connecting things with myself. That's all will happen. Right now I am connecting because I think I enjoy a certain degree of reality, vyavaharik. I see that I am paramadik satta. Vyavahara cannot touch me. Then that connection that I am establishing will not be established. Therefore, there will be no anartha in Atma. What is happening will happen. What is happening will not be the cause of suffering. That's all it is. So, these are the two examples for two things. Vakyotha aham brahmasmiti pratyavata aham karomadi api patraya anubhava siddha. No, Vakya says aham brahmasmi. Shruti says tattvamasi, you are Brahman. So all right, you said that by the instruction of Shruti. When I subject my thinking in alignment with what the Shruti says, then I realize that my present conclusions about myself are all notions. And when they are dropped, then this arises in me that I am Brahman. This recognition arises in me. So that vritti takes place. Explained in the previous example, verse that how aham brahmasmi, that vritti takes place. So vakyotha, on account of Mahavakya, this vritti that aham Brahma takes place, pratyaya, that cognition takes place. Aham karomi, right now aham karomi, I am a karta, bhokta, sukhi, dukhi, that also is there. Iti pratyaya anubhava siddha. So that is the pratyaya that arises on account of the teaching of Shruti. And I am karta, bhokta, sukhi, dukhi is the knowledge or the conclusion arises because of by default, by habit. So that also is equally true. So I am karta bhokta also is the same kind of thing as I am Brahman. Bhuta vrittis. Tatra ko hetu. Then why do you say that I am aparena badhyate iti? When two vrittis or two cognitions are there, I am Brahman, which is based on the Shastra. I am a karta, bhokta, that is based on by habit. Be equally intimate to me. So aham karta, bhokta also is aparoksha. I know it as my own self. And Brahman also I know as myself. Then which one is right and which one is wrong? I am eva aparena badhyate. You say that aham karta, bhokta is negated by aham Brahman. Because it is said that the papmanaha tatha hnuti syat. This papa or suffering, which is kartrutva, bhoktrutva, etc., the badha, the elimination, negation takes place by knowledge aham brahmasmi. So why do you think that the negation of ahankarta, bhokta takes place by aham Brahman. Why not the other way around? Why not ahankarta is also an intimate knowledge of my, in me. Why not that vritti negate aham Brahma? What is the basis for you to say that aham Brahma, this recognition, negates ahankarta? Why not the other way around? What's the rule? That this alone should eliminate the other and not the other way around. Some rule must be there. Tatra ko hetuhu ayameva aparena badhyate. This anubhavaham karomi is badhyate. Aham brahmasmi iti pratyena badhyate. Tatra ko hetuhu, what is the reason? Iti shankate. Sadbrahmaham karomiti pratyavaatmasakshikau tayorajnanajasyaiva tyago yuktataro matah. Sadbrahmaham, Sadbrahma. Sat, because the word Sat keeps on being repeated, because Sadeva Somi Idamagrasit. So that's where the Shandogya is the basis of the discussion. And that alone is Tat. So Deva Tat is Brahma, Deva Sat is Brahma. So Sat Brahmasmi, Sat Brahma Aham. So on account of the teaching of the Shastra, now I see that Sat Brahma, that Brahman, the existence is myself. And aham karomi iti, and I am doing it, I am a karta, iti pratyayo, atma sakshiko. Both of these pratyas are immediate. Atma sakshiko means that both these pratyas are revealed or illuminated by Atma. Both of them take place in the mind. Aham brahmasmi also is a pratyaya or cognition. Aham karta, aham bhokta also is a cognition. And both of them, the same degree of same category looks like, because both are only illumined by Atma, by consciousness. So in terms of their reality, they seem to be of the same degree. Then what is the rule that one should eliminate the other and not the other one should eliminate this one? So first line represents what? The Shanka. Shankare. The second line gives you the Samadhanam. So what's the Niyam? Tatra Niyamakam Hetum Vadan. There must be a Hetu, the cause, determining cause. Niyamaka. So what is the cause that determines the negation of one by the other and not the other way around? That negation, that ascertained cause of negation must be there. So second line says, Tayoho ajnanajastya tyaga yuktataro matah. Ajnanajastya ahankaromi is the pratyaya which is born of ignorance, and aham brahmasmi is pratyaya born of knowledge. So matah yuktatara, you only appropriate that the cognition that takes place by knowledge should dispel the cognition taking place by ignorance. So that is simple thing, but it's really complicated by Tikakara. But anyway, tatra niyamakam hetum vadan uttaramaha tayoho iti. So what is born of ignorance, aham karta, is only proper. Yukta taraha, it only better. Yukta means appropriate, more appropriate. That the cognition born of knowledge should dispel the cognition which is a result of ignorance. But yukta taran, yukta appropriate, yukta more appropriate, the tarap pratyaya is there, comparative degree. Iti tarapaha, so yukta plus tarap pratyaya is there, tarap means then tara. So tarapaha, ayamarthaha, why is considered to be more appropriate? not just appropriate. Yatha purupravutta yaga viniyojika shrutya paschat pravritta. So here the Mimamsa is is taken for discussion, or as an example rather. So Purupravu Yaga Viniyojika Shrutya. In order to determine the purport or the tatparya of a statement, in Mimamsakas have developed the whole methodology of how to arrive at what it is that is, because the whole Veda has so many vakyas in so many places, and there can be more than one thing about the same, about same yaga. Then which is niyamakam? Which one is stronger than the other? So they have this whole sequence. Shruti, Linga, Vakya, Prakarana, Sthana, Samakhya. So these are the three. What is determining the anga? So there is the main body of the yaga, for example, and then there are the supporting yagas, that are performed. They are called anga. So what determines the relation between main yaga and the anga? Main yaga is described here, anga may be described somewhere else, right away or somewhere else. So you have to connect them. Shruti either directly said that this is anga, or then there are other, like for example, Shruti linga from inference, vakya, some other statement is there. So prakarana, the context is there, sthanam, samakhya. So these are the six, the means, pramana, in the succeeding, the lower order. Each preceding one is stronger than the following one. So Shruti is stronger than Lingam, is stronger than Vakya, etc. So this sequence is there. So coming back to our Puraprudha Yaga Viniyojika Shrutya. So then the Shruti which actually enjoins a given Yaga. Paschat Prutta Lingade Apraptaya Badhyante. So Shruti is strongest therefore if something is said by linga, etc., they are already negated by Shruti being the strongest. So Purapravutta, Shruti is there first, and then later on the other things may come, but they are considered to be inferior, negated by what the Shruti says. Shruti is a direct statement. In elsewhere you have to infer, etc., etc. So what occurs earlier negates what occurs later. In second example, Yasava, पूरे में प्रकृति है. So prakriti yaga and vikruti yaga. So prakriti is the primary, vikruti is the modification secondary. पूर्वमेव प्रकृति है. So prakriti है पूर्वमेव, before prakriti is stated. विकृतौ अतिदेश प्राप्तानाम अंगानाम विकृतिगत विशेषोपदेशेन पाश्चात्येन बाधः. Before Prakriti comes, Vikruto Atidesha Praptanam Anganam. So therefore, when Vikruti is a modification, that is where the Angas are, you find out these are very Anga. So Anga is already known. Usually, main Yaga is there, Anga is there, that this is Anga or subsidiary Yaga is known from Shruti. Sometimes subsidiary Yaga is already known by other ways. Before the main yaga also, in that case, what follows negates what precedes, Here what precedes, Shruti negates what follows. In that one, what comes later is already determined, therefore it will negate what the Prakriti or the earlier one is. In short, two examples of Mimamsa. In one example, what precedes negates what follows. Second example, what follows negates what precedes. So both ways are found. So which one is applicable here? Question is, which one is, what precedes aham karomi? See, now we are born with aham karta. And aham brahmasmi follows. So which is stronger? What is already existing, what precedes, is it stronger than what follows? So that would be the case with Shruti and Linga, etc. What precedes is stronger than what follows. Or aham brahmasmi, that follows, is it stronger than aham karomi, which precedes? Then you, this prakriti vikriti example shows how what follows is stronger. In which case, so yuktatvepi aniyamaha bhadyabadakayoho purva aparibhavasya. And therefore, even though one is negated by the other, there is no niyama rule that what precedes will negate what follows, or follows will negate what precedes, because both examples are found there where there is no niyama. So here also is no niyama. Aham karta precedes, aham brahma follows. So we don't find niyama in the Shastra that what precedes is stronger and what follows is weaker, etc. So would not the same nyaya apply here? That aham karta also can negate aham brahma also can negate aham karta. So what's the rule? What's the niyamaka? Meaning, what is the determining reason that aham brahma should negate aham karta? But that nyaya does not apply here. That either way, that does not apply. What precedes, what follows, what is product of ignorance, knowledge dispels the product of ignorance. That's the point. Not precedes and follows. What precedes aham karta, what follows aham brahma. That is not the point. Point is agnyajasya tyagaha. What is born of knowledge dispels what is born of ignorance. Doesn't matter it precedes or follows. You follow? So that rule of what is stronger, what precedes is stronger than what follows, what follows is stronger than what precedes, that rule is not applicable here because what is born of ignorance, knowledge, it dispels what is born of ignorance. So it doesn't matter, that rule doesn't apply here. So yukta taraha. It's only proper that what is born of knowledge dispels or negates what is born of ignorance. Alright. Atra ka pramanajaha pratyaya. So ajnanajasya. Ahankarta is ajnanajasya pratyaya. Ahankarta is pratyaya or the cognition or the notion born of ignorance. Aham Brahma is the pratyaya, the cognition or conviction born of knowledge. Satrakaha. So what is the pratyaya that is born of knowledge? So knowledge is always born of pramana. Pramakaranam pramanam. Pramanam is the valid means of knowledge which creates the knowledge. Eyes are the pramanam for the knowledge of color. Therefore, eyes are the authentic means of knowledge of color. So, what is in this case now, what is the authentic means of knowledge? Pramanaja pratyaya. What is which pratyaya? Aham karta is born of pramanam or aham brahma is born of pramanam? Kova jnana hai. So, how do you determine? Now you say that the cognition born of knowledge dispels cognition born of ignorance. Fine. Which is born of ignorance? Is aham karta born of ignorance? Or is aham brahma born of ignorance? Or aham brahma is born of knowledge, etc. So, pramanaja pratyaya. Is aham karta born of pramanam? Or is aham brahma born of pramanam? Iti vikshayam vivicche darshayati. So then, when this viksha is there, this vaktum ichcha, that is the desire to now state which is born of ignorance, because the statement is made. Ajnanajasyeva tyaga yuktataro mataha. It's only appropriate that what is born of ignorance is dispelled by what is born of knowledge. So what is born of knowledge is born of pramanam. What is known of ignorance is not born of ignorance, not born of pramana. So of the two, aham karta, aham brahma, which one is born of pramana? Which is born of ignorance? So next one says, sadasmiti pramanotha dhiranya tannibhodbhava pratyakshadini bhavapi bhadyate digbhramadivata. So there is pratyaksha, and there is pratyaksha, the conclusion or the knowledge that we have from what we see or what we experience or what we think we experience, and knowledge of the words of the wise about the same thing. So we think that this is flower. The wise scientist may say that this is energy. So then that statement by the scientist, which is based on reasoning, dispels my conclusion that this is a flower. This flower under certain conditions, by what it is light actually. All there is light, nothing else. And light alone manifests as everything. And so E is equal to mc square, that energy is mass and c square. C is the speed of light. In short, scientists have discovered that what is light, and everything that we perceive is nothing but the waves of light, or the grossification of light, or whatever you want to call it. So that statement will dispel your conclusions. There is no real duality when at the physical level. What is energy or light only. One light manifests this as this. One gold and manifesting various ornaments. So that is how the Vakya coming from wisdom will dispel the conclusion we have from our so-called experience. So sadasmi iti pramanottadihi. Sadasmi, brahmasmi, that dihi, that cognition or that determination comes from pramanam. What pramanam? Tattvamasi. Anya tan nibhodbhava, that I am karta. Anya means aham karta. That's going on discussion. That I am karta bhokta also is dhi. Is also my cognition. Is also my knowledge which I experience. So that I am a karta bhokta is experience. You follow? I know that I am a doer. I did it. How? I know it. I experience it. So aham karta, aham bhokta is result of my experience. And I am Brahman is what the Shastra says. Pramana says. Pramanam says you are Brahman, and my mind says I am a Jiva. So what will negate what? That Jivatva is born of ignorance and that Brahmatva is born of knowledge. Therefore, that should dispel the other one. Have you seen any examples of that? Vakya. But I experience it. How can a Vakya, how can somebody's statement can dispel or prove as wrong what I am experiencing? I am experiencing that I am a Jiva. How can a statement that you are Brahman can negate what I am experiencing? This is a pratyaksha. That's what people think. Duality is my experience. Samsara is my experience. I am a Jiva is my experience. How can that experience be negated by the statement of Shruti? Do you have a condition, an example, where one's experience or conclusion drawn from experience is negated by somebody's Vakya? So says pratyakshadini bhavapi bhadyate digbhramadivata. Digbhrama is the confusion in directions. Which is north and which is south, so there is fog. There is no sunlight seen. You're driving on the road, go north and go south, and what is north and what is south? There's confusion very often. Not only confusion, but this is south. And so you take north as south, some other direction as south. So one direction taken to be a different direction. East is taken to be north and whatever. This is not uncommon while driving on American roads, Now, of course, signs are very clear. 50 years ago, things were not as clear. And then you have to judge sometimes, go north, go south. Which way to go? Anyway, therefore, you think that this is north. Even though it may be east, you think that, or you find it is north. This is pratyaksha anubhava. And then your GPS now says, hey, this is wrong, go this way, then declares that is north. That's Vakya. That thing inside tells you. You make a U-turn, or make a left, make a right, take this exit. That's called Vakya. Vakya dispels my conclusion that this was north or this was south. So Dig Brahma, what is Dig Brahma? The confusion of directions. Now Brahma means what is wrong is taken to be right. I don't say I am confused. This is not a Brahma. That this is north. That is my conclusion. The direction which is not north is taken by me to be north. That is called Brahma. Meaning that I do not know that my conclusion is wrong. Otherwise, if there is a doubt, then it's not quite Brahma. Then I may investigate further. I may go to a gas station and ask them what's going on. I am quite sure that I am going in the right direction. So what is wrong is taken to be right. For that, Dig Brahma, or this delusion about direction, is a common experience. Not today with all these means, but in olden days you are going to, walking in a forest, for example, nothing is clear. Sunlight is not entering and there is no way for you to determine direction. And you think that you know what north is. Then somebody comes along, you're lost, somebody comes and says, hey Swamiji, this is not north, this is north. That this fellow is lost, where is Gandhara? Where is the country from where I come? Then one compassionate person comes along and says, this is Gandhara, in this direction is Gandhara. Go there. So how that Vakya Gandhara is in this direction dispels also his vritti born of experience. What he thought was experience, that conclusion he had from experience that this is north, is negated by the Vakya of what? An Apta Vakya. A statement coming from a knowledgeable person, reliable, trustworthy person also. So Apta Vakya is also considered Pramanam. The statement of a knowledgeable and trustworthy, knowledgeable maybe, but trustworthy person is called Apta Vakya. And so the Nayayikas accept that also as a Pramanam. Vaisheshika, they accept as Pramanam. In the day-to-day life, so if he says, then it must be right. So Shruti is of course Parama Apta Vakya. My confusion is that I am a Jiva. I think it is right. Now that is Dig Brahma. Brahman is taken to be Jiva, not knowing. So I will never question that. I have concluded this is not, I will never question my conclusion. That is called Brahma. Where wrong is taken to be right. And I am quite settled in my conclusion that this is what it is. I am settled in my conclusion that I am Jiva, which I think is my born of experience. And this statement, you are Brahman, comes from Apta, and that can dispel the Brahma that is born of the ignorance of myself. So how Vakya can dispel the conclusion arrived at from experience? Our experience, I am Karta Bhokta, can be dispelled by the Vakya, you are Brahman. So Ajnanasya tyago yuktataro mataha. So how what is born of knowledge can dispel born of ignorance is only proper. That I am a jiva is born of ignorance, I am Brahma, born of knowledge. But then is not just born of ignorance. For me it is real. So that is called Brahma, where the wrong is taken to be right. That's called Brahma. Confusion is not the right word. If I am confused, then I may seek some advice. If I am certain in my conclusion, I will not. In our life is not confusion, it is conclusion. That I am so and so. So it never occurs to me to question my conclusion. Somebody is to come and say, hey, where are you going, Swamiji? I am going to, I am going to Thalte. This is not Thalte, not direction. Go that way. So I was quite confident in myself that I am going in the right direction. And that notion is called, so I thought it was my pratyaksha, it was only confusion pratyaksha, appearance of pratyaksha. We say that we experience duality, it is not experience, it is only an appearance of experience. I said I experience that I am jiva, it is not an experience, it is the appearance of experience. I said this is north, it was not my experience, only appearance of experience. Or, false conclusion from experience. Sadasmiti Pramanottha, that I am Sadar Brahman is the Dhi, or the knowledge born of Pramanam, Tattvamasi, Mahavakya, the Apta Vakya is Pramanam here. Anya Tannibhod Bhava, that I am a Karta, Bhokta. I think that also I know it, but that is born only of what? An apparent Pramanam. It is my conclusion, not born of Pramanam, but born of what appears as Pramanam, appears as experience. Pratyakshadini bhavapi bhadyate dig brahmadivat. Just as dig brahma, I think that this is not, bhadyate is negated by the statement of the apta. So the Tika says, Dihi Tattvamasi. Nirdushta Vakya Pramanotha. Pramana is what? Tattva Nirdushta Vakya is Pramana. What is Nirdushta? Devoid of all doshas. See, Vakya coming from human mind is quite likely to possess various doshas. Ajnanam, Samshaya, Viparya. And so various doshas, it may be ignorance, it may be doubt, it may be wrong conclusion. It may be conclusion born of inadequate data, because my eyes can see limited, my ears can hear limited. And it may be simply my insistence of what is wrong to be right. So what comes, a human mind is subject to the sixfold defects, doshas. So that is why the Shastra Vakya, which is Vakya coming from Ishvara, the Sarvagnya. Therefore, Nirdushta Vakya. This is a matter of trust, this is called Shraddha. The Shastra Vakya is Nirdushta. Without any dosha, it is Apta Vakya, it is Pramanam. All believers accept this. This is called belief. It's called Shraddha. And people can as well question that. And who says that? What is Shastra? Shastra also is composed by Rishis, etc. and so on and so forth. So that debate is going on from the time beginningless. But what is our Shraddha? Nirdushta Vakya Pramanotha. Tattvamasi statement comes from Upanishad, which is Vakya statement Nirdushta. Without any dosha, not born of any kind of perception or inference, etc., born of the immediate knowledge. That's what we discuss in the Atma Pramana, Atma Purana also. How the Shastra is like the outbreath of Ishvara. It is just the Sahaja. It is effortless. If Ishvara also make an effort, there can be some difficulty there. It is effortless. Meaning Ishvara is not a creator of Shastra. Shastra emerged from Ishvara. Anya kartaham ityadidi tad nibhodbhava. That I am karta bhokta, I think that I know it, but that is only a notion. Or so I know, it's my experience. It's not experience, it is the appearance of an experience. Pramana abhasa samudbhuta. That I am karta is not born of pramana, it's pramana abhasa. Only the appearance of pramana, what is taken to be pramana is not pramana, my experience is not pramana. Aviveka doshaskanditattvat. Aviveka is involved in that. In aham karta, aviveka is involved. The kartritva that belongs to anatma is taken to belong to atma, and that's how the conclusion is. So that is born of aviveka. Aviveka dosha aska. So that is nirdushta. Tattvamasi is devoid of any dosha. Ahankarta is accompanied with dosha. What's the dosha? Aviveka. What is aviveka? The kartatva which belongs to anatma is taken to be belonging to atma. That aviveka dosha is there. So this conclusion is only accompanied with or pervaded by the aviveka of mutual identification. And therefore, what is born of viveka will dispel, knowledge will dispel what is born of aviveka. Vakyajanya jnanasyapi pratyaksha avasvadanam drishtantena buddhim arohayati. Still, I might find it difficult that one vakya can dispel what I have been thinking for all the time. He says here is, so, like the pratyakshadi, we see this is north, and how that conclusion is dispelled by the aptavakya. So also, we think that this is what I am, dispelled by the vakya of the apta. So this is how agnyānajasya vādaha yuktataro mataha. Of the two, the vāda, the negation of what is born of ignorance, alone is proper, or more proper, to be dispelled by what is the result of the pramanam or the knowledge. Very slowly and subtly the teacher is leading us, to nature of knowledge, nature of pramanam, nature of teaching, everything. Nibha means appearance. Pratyakshadi nibha. Appearing as pratyaksha. Tan nibhodbhava. The anya tan nibhodbhava. Pramana nibhodbhava. Even kartrutva also I think that I know. But that is not pramana. It's just the appearance of pramana. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamada Yapurnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutrabhashya Krutau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavad Vyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. Om Shanti Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.